Aaron, I don't know how much you watched the post game stuff last night with Big Ben, and obviously, you're like you said, you're kind of focused on what's going on right now. But you've also talked about how much respect you have for guys like Kobe and Tim Duncan, who played their entire career with one team. Like, if you did watch any of that stuff with Ben last night, does your mind ever kind of wander to like, oh, it would be cool, like if whenever my time is done, it's in Green Bay, and I kind of get that reception and like can close the book on my career? Like, does your mind drift to anything like that, or not really? Or are you just focused on what's going on right now?
I mean, I think me. Of course, you think about those things when you're me. I mean, I think that's a part of the perspective and nostalgic appreciation for being in the same spot for 17 years. And Ben, like I said last night, Ben and Eli and Phil were in the draft right before me, and seeing those guys and the careers they had. And, until Phil went to Indy, those are guys who are one organization guys. It's super rare in professional sports, and there's a lot to be said for that. And so I just felt, a lot of gratitude for being able to compete against Ben. And, I was just thinking about how special that was for him, have his family down there. It's interesting because one of my favorite players growing up was Barry Sanders, and after the Niners and being a fan of Favre, I was always a fan of Barry Sanders. I just loved the way that he ran. He was so elusive. He was a trailblazer in his running style. He handed the ball to the official after he scored a touchdown. I just felt like he was just so classy. And if you remember, he retired with like a little note. Hey guys, thanks. It was fun. I'm out. And I always thought how cool that was. He loved the game, but he never was bigger than the game. And I think that's a great way to do it. I think to get the fanfare and respect like Ben did at Heinz Field last night was awesome as well. I think he deserves that. He's given 18 years. He's an adult in Pittsburgh. He's given his life. I think he said last night almost, nearly half of his life he's lived in Pittsburgh and played for the Steelers. It's pretty special. So I think there's some positives to both those things, but I don't think I said this. I would never want a farewell tour. I just think that that has worked for some guys and been great and cool, and I respect that. But that's not something that I want.
When did you or Ben start this, you think? Who started doing this first to the fans? Because they talked about it last night by Riddick, Greasy, and Levy. They talked about the fanfare and the love between city and quarterback. Because Pittsburgh and Ben, he came from a factory dad, blue collar. He bought into Pittsburgh. He was out on the south side in North Shore. They saw him hammering booze whenever he's young. And he won a bunch, and he showed up, and he was tough, and he fought through injuries. And there's a lot of this. And I don't know if he's doing it just to his family, but he's also doing it to all of Pittsburgh. You do it as well. Who do you think started that? And when did you start saying this to Green Bay? Do you think it's because you didn't think they heard enough? Like, you didn't get to explain it enough? Why did that all start, you think? For you, at least.
I just think, there's special moments that happen at the end of games. And that walk off the field, man, is a special moment. And I've just always enjoyed that. And you can't help but have a deep-seated love for your job, for the gifts in your life, for the opportunity, and for the response from the fans in that moment. And for me, it was just an outward expression of an inward feeling of just love and gratitude for the years of support and the years of love and appreciation for what I've accomplished on the field and what we've accomplished. And so it was, it's just been an outward representation of how I feel about the fans and how I feel about the amazing opportunity I've been given to be quarterback in Green Bay for all these years.
You ever think about that? Like when you first got to Green Bay and you first got in the lineup, like, okay, you're replacing Brett Favre, this country dude, awesome, gunslinger. You come in from Cali, probably silver spooner, like, everything handed to you your whole life. Yeah. You come into this hardworking, gritty town in Green Bay, and you know how the people are, and you eventually won them over through your great play. Like, did you ever think it would turn out this way?
I hoped for sure. I knew I was going to be a little different. I wasn't, I wasn't tackling my teammates and doing all things Brett Favre.
Wranglers, you Wranglers.
Right, wearing the Wranglers and pumping up the copper sleeve.
It works.
I knew I was going to do things a little differently being from Cali, but I think an important part of being a quarterback, face of the franchise, is embracing the culture, and I feel like I've done that. I've lived here for 17 years. I got friends outside of football who live in this town. I love the interactions with the fans. I mean, they basically know, where they could possibly see me. It's one of like 3 places, but I enjoy the culture here, and I've made my own kind of bingo list, or not really bingo. Maybe it's more like a scavenger hunt list of things you got to do in Green Bay. That's what I always tell. Like I tell the young quarterbacks in the room or some of the young players, here's some of the things you got to do to ingrain yourself in the culture of Green Bay. I'm talking about going to a supper club, going to a fish fry on Friday or Saturday, going to a supper club and doing that. You got to go ride the roller coaster at Bay Beach. That's an important one. You got to spend time in Door County. You got to go to the Frosty Tip in Dykesville.
Oh, yeah, the Frosty
yeah.
Tip, dude. That place don't fuck around.
It's a good place, man. But there's some core kind of, you got to go ice fishing. There's some core Green Bay, Wisconsin things that I think are important to kind of ingratiate yourself with the community and with the culture. And I've embraced those. Even eating cheese curds, which, unless they're fried, to me have absolutely zero taste and definitely no nutritional value. But it's one of those things you just do to become a part of the culture. And I've enjoyed those and loved those and loved my time here. I'm a Cali boy still. I like warm weather and I love going to the beach. But I do enjoy the long frozen winters here in Green Bay as a nice change.
I think I asked you last week, but I want to follow up on it. You're like a small town guy, and a lot of people at your position, especially nowadays, would be trying especially with the celebrity that comes with being you. You're covered. There's fake yous coming out of coffee shops in the middle of Los Angeles, you know what I mean? Like the fact that you still choose and want to be in a small town, I think it says a lot about the person that you are, honestly.